Let's thank these generous groups. And now, I'd like to introduce to you today the star of the show, Juana Medina. She was born and raised in Bogota, Colombia, and now lives in Northern Virginia. A graduate of the Rhode Island School of Design, Medina is an assistant professor at George Mason University's School of Art. She is the author and illustrator of multiple children's books, including the chapter book series Juana and Lucas, winner of the prestigious Pura Belpré Award, and 2 International Latino Book Awards. Please join me in welcoming Juana Medina.
Wow. Good morning. That was a good morning that I heard all the way here. Good morning, South Dakota. Good morning. It is so lovely sharing this morning with all of you. I have been counting days, looking forward to being here, and I finally get to share this beautiful space with each one of you. Isn't it beautiful in here? Yeah. Yes. Thank you to Ms. Liz for such a beautiful introduction. Thank you to all of you that have been working so hard to make sure that we could make this event happen and be here today. It's great to be with so many third graders. So first, a hello. Hellos are important, right? Yeah, always important. I am so happy to be here. That's me. No? Yeah. Same glasses. I left my pepper nose at home. Look the same. No? Well, that's a drawing of me. I made this drawing. Can I get a show of hands of how many artists are here? How many of you draw? I'm so happy to be in such good company. So many artists. Keep drawing. Keep telling stories. And any readers here? Any readers? Some readers? Yes! I'm so glad. Yes, both hands up. I'm so glad to be amongst many readers. Keep reading. Keep reading. And we will continue to celebrate books. My name is Juana Medina. And yeah, I grew up in the city. I know. This city is called Bogota. Can any of you say Bogota? Excellent. And it's a city in Colombia. Let's say Colombia together. 1, 2, 3, Colombia. Music to my ears. It's a city surrounded by mountains. And there's often rainbows because it rains, but it's also very sunny. And my home is not in this picture. If there was a picture of my home, it would be sort of like right here. Yeah. But I wanted to share with you my home city, just like you are sharing your home state with me, which I really appreciate. I had to say goodbye to my beautiful mountains when I was in my 20s. And I came to a country you might know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. And it sometimes felt like it was a slow journey where things didn't move as fast as they wanted to, as I wanted them to. It was not always easy. Have any of you moved from one place to another? Yeah. It can be hard, right? Yeah. It can be a little complicated. Sometimes people didn't know how to spell my name. And sometimes I felt very small and unheard and unseen. Have any of you felt that way sometimes? I think all of us, in one way or another, have sometimes felt like people don't see us or they don't understand what we're trying to say to them. And that can be hard. But thankfully, with time, things got easier. Now, is that a perfectly yellow banana? No, because there were still times that were a little bit hard, but they made things sweeter. Oh, because I love doing something that they tell us not to do, which is called playing with food. But I must say, in case your grown-up say, Juana said she likes to play with food. I like to play with food to make drawings. And then I eat the food. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. This doesn't mean there haven't been hard times. Thankfully, I've had good friends and good company and things have become easier. But sometimes there have been hard times. And the hard times sometimes feel not this hard, but more like this hard. Yeah. Sometimes when you're going through something hard, it can feel really heavy and hard, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so I decided to do one thing that I hope you might consider doing. And it is to every single day, find something beautiful or find someone doing something kind for others. Can you think? There's no need to say anything out loud, but can you think of something beautiful that you've seen this morning? Just think about it in your mind and in your heart. Or can you think of something kind that was said to you or that you might have said to someone else? I see some people nodding. I see some of you raising your arms. I'm glad to hear that. So I pass this on to you. There will be moments that are not very easy, but always think of finding one little thing, one single little thing every day that you find beautiful, or one single act where you experience or see kindness, whether it is towards you or towards other. And that has always made my life a little bit easier. I also started carrying notebooks to draw everything I saw. It didn't have to be something spectacular or exciting. It could be my stinky socks, or a pencil, or even the toilet. You see a toilet seat there? Yeah. We can draw everything around us. Everything. And then we can start finding stories. I also started drawing things from my imagination, like ships and whales and the mountains that I miss so much, and hats I'd never seen before. And sometimes I would draw rooftops around me, and I've continued to draw rooftops, and sometimes I will draw the buildings around me. Yeah. And sometimes I'll draw sneezes. True. Yeah, it doesn't have to be something big. Just something that I see in the world. And then one day, I found myself in a place called Providence, Rhode Island. And it was very cold. It was so cold, I couldn't think of any ideas. And that was a problem because I had homework. And my homework was to tell a story. But I was so cold and I was not used to the cold. Many of you might be used to the cold that I wasn't. And so I couldn't think of what to write. I was supposed to write a short story. And it was like someone was pulling my teeth. It was so hard. I couldn't think of it. Has that ever happened to you? Not that someone's pulling your teeth out, but that you can't think of what you're going to do. Yes, it happens to all of us. And all I could think of in that very cold winter day was of my nice, warm hometown of Bogota. And the more I thought of home, and the more I missed home, the more I realized I had an idea. I could tell a story of something that happened to me when I was a little girl, growing up in Colombia. And this was one day when my mom picked me up at school. And I was furious. And I was fuming. And my mom asked, "What's going on?" And I said to her, "Well, they want to teach me something called the English. And I already speak Spanish. Why do we need to learn a new language?" And my mom, being very wise, said to me, "Juana, we're going to Disney World. And Mickey Mouse only speaks English." I know. And so I had to learn all the English I could fit in my head to make sure that I could speak or talk to Mickey Mouse. Now, guess what happened? I learned all the English I could, and we went to Disney World, and I got to Disney, and I saw Mickey. And Mickey did not even speak. He just waved. So all the English I had learned didn't help me for that, but it did help me for something completely unexpected, and that was to be able to share days like today with all of you, sharing my stories in English. So it took a while for me to realize why English would be so important, but it has been the language that has allowed me to connect with many, many people and sharing stories. So that's me when I was little. Yeah, I had a lot more hair back then. And this is a book that you might have seen. And I changed the story a little bit, right? In the book, a book you might have, thanks to the generosity of the South Dakota Humanities Council. Yes, I was able to share the story, but I changed some aspects of the story because there were only so many characters I could add to the story, and there have been so many books and so many stories about Mickey Mouse that I decided maybe I should give the spotlight to someone else. And I used my imagination, and I came up with a character called Astroman and a place called Spaceland. Now, there's no place called Spaceland yet. Maybe some of you will be future engineers and designers and architects and inventors and will create such a place. But for now, it doesn't exist. But I found it important to use my imagination and to share some spaces that don't exist yet and give the spotlight to someone else besides Mickey Mouse. And so in the story, I got a chance to share about Bogota, the city that I was showing you at the beginning. And I got a chance to use words to tell stories, not just as words, but also using words as pictures. And I used my drawing skills. Also, like you, I've been an artist since I was very young. And it was great fun to be able to share things that were funny or silly or even sad at times. But it also allowed me to share the story with many of you. And I got lucky and was honored with a big award. There I am holding the medal that they gave me, which was a very, very important honor. But bigger than this medal, the biggest honor has been to be able to share this book with many readers like you, with many young readers, smart and wise and funny and sweet and generous, just like you. And to celebrate books and to see how you tell stories. And remember how I was saying at the beginning how sometimes I felt small and unheard and unseen, and some of you said that you felt that same way? One day I was visiting Brownsville in Texas. I'd never been to Brownsville before, and this school was unusually quiet. Are schools quiet? Nah, not generally. But this school was unusually quiet, and I didn't see any kids around me. And I asked, where are all the children? And they said, oh, you'll see. And then I finally turned a corner, and I saw that they had dressed their walls with mountains that they cut out just to show the mountains like the mountains in my city. And everyone was welcoming me with open arms. And this made me realize how many times we can find a place like home, even in places that are completely new to us, just because of the kindness of others, right? And the generosity of others, and how important that can be. So here's an invitation. And this invitation is to keep drawing and keep telling stories. Whether they have cucumber-eyed alligators, or macaroni-haired magicians, or carrot horses. I hope you realize how important the stories that you're gathering right now and the experiences that you are going through right now as you're young are so valuable that they might end up in a book. I hope one day I will come back to South Dakota, and I might be the one sitting down there while you're here sharing your stories within your own book, with your own name and your own pictures. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah. I think you have a lot of things and a lot of wisdom and a lot of funny and sweet things to share with the world. So keep drawing and keep telling stories and keep making up wonderful things. Now, I was wondering if maybe we could read a little bit. How does that sound? I know some of you have already read from this book, right? And I hope you will continue to read since you have your very own copies, or will have your very own copies. But maybe we can read a little bit together. Does that sound okay? All right. So before we do that, I know that you've been sitting still for such a long time. It might be time to let those wiggles out. How does that sound? Yeah. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Let's rise if you can, and if you can't, that's okay. And we are going to raise our arms or our eyes as far as they can go to touch the sky. Let's wiggle those fingers. Wiggle, stretch, a little bit more. And now, down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath as we rise up. Are we ready? All right, 1, 2, and 3. And now inhale a little more. Tip the toes. And now little up. Great job. Now, still standing. If you can't stand, if not, that's perfectly fine. We're going to stomp. Hold on. We're going to stomp with one foot. Good job. Oh, some of you really have the wiggles. All right, so we're going to hold on. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's all quiet. When you see my hands close, it means we're going to make absolute silence. Let's practice that silence. 1, 2, 3. Very good. I think we can still make even more silence. All right. And now we're going to stomp with one foot, stomp with the other, and clap 3 times. Stomp with one foot, stomp with the other, clap 3 times. Stomp with one foot, stomp with the other, clap 3 times. I love the excitement. You have so much energy today. But let's try to. It can be hard. So now let's take a steady seat back again. And we're gonna do a range with like clapping. Okay, but hold on. We're gonna do a pattern. So just like we did in the beginning, we're gonna do one clap altogether. 1, 2, 3, and another, and another. All right. Are we ready to read? Excellent. I know we have very few minutes left, so let's try to make the most out of it. And I fear I had all paid attention to put the book on screen, but for some reason I managed to forget to put that book on screen. So I'm very grateful that you do have your own copies, and you will be able to read and corroborate and confirm that I'm not making the words up, and that you can look them up in your own book. Here we go. Juana and Lucas, Chapter 1. My name is Juana. It's spelled Juana, and it is pronounced Juana. Things I like are drawing, sometimes on paper and sometimes on other surfaces. Astroman. Astroman needs no rockets to fly in space. His intergalactic suit lets him glide, and shiny helmet cover all of him, and let him glide from galaxy to galaxy faster than I can say Jupiter. How fast can you say the word Jupiter? That was very good. Very good. Excellent. He knows all the constellations from A to Z, and can redirect a comet by simply blowing on it, as if it were a candle flame on a cupcake. No one else can do that. My favorite food of all foods. We'll see, and if you like what I'm going to share, you're welcome to do like this. If you don't, I understand if you don't. My favorite food of all foods, more than cheese and ice cream and chocolate, but not all together, is Brussels sprouts. No, that's okay. In Bogota, Brussels sprouts are called repollitas. Very good. Great job rolling those R's. The world has many cities, but Bogota is where I am, and where school is, and where mommy and my abuelos and Lucas are, and where I play with Eric and Daniel, and where I get into trouble with Juli. Bogota, Colombia, in South America, is the city that is closest to my heart. I'm going to stop here, but I find it important to say thank you. And South Dakota will now also be a very important place in my heart. Thank you for joining me here today. I wonder if, through the help of your teachers, we might be able to choose about 5 different friends to ask some questions. Let's try to do it as quietly as we possibly can. And we're going to stop. We're going to start all the way on the top. All the way on the top. Is there a question? Yes. All right. So our friend in that beautiful blue shirt is going to tell us as loud as possible their question. Oh, what a wonderful question. How many books have I made so far? It depends on how you count. I started making books when I was 7 years old. I know, but some of those books never got published. They're in my mom's shelves, which are the most important shelves to me. And he keeps them quite dearly. And you can write books for your shelves, for your friends, or for your home, right? Or for grown-ups that you love, maybe even for your classroom. You could have an author's shelf in your classroom. I don't know. So if I count those books, I don't know how many books I've written and illustrated. But from the books I've published, I have had the pleasure of working in over 30 books. And I continue to work on books and I'm super excited about that. Thank you for your question. All right, now let's come all the way to the front. Is there a friend that teachers might help me pick for a question? All right. Yes. No? Are you ready? All right, tell me. What is my favorite book? Oh my goodness. That is a difficult question, but a wonderful one too. That is like picking my favorite ice cream, right? There are different flavors that I love. I love The Little Prince. I don't know if you've read that book. I love 100 Years of Solitude. I don't know if you've read that book. Hopefully when you're much older. I love another one, Walking Through Walls. Can you imagine that title? I know. There are many books that I love. Many books. And I hope you have many books you love too. Thank you so much. Now let's go to the back here, sort of the middle. Yes, if there's, yes, yes. How old am I? Ancient old. I am 44 years old. And what you might not realize is soon enough you hopefully will be my age too. All right, let's see if another teacher can help us find another friend. Oh, do I really have a dog named Lucas? Yes, I did have a dog named Lucas that I grew up with. And I was very lucky to have Lucas not only as my friend, but as my protector. He was very protective of me. However, you just asked me how old am I, right? And if Lucas was still alive in dog years, he would be like 400 and some years old. Yes. And so Lucas is no longer with me, but I get the chance to honor him through books. And I have a dog now named Rosie. And when she gets in trouble, I call her Rosita. And she rarely gets in trouble, but she's a great companion. Thank you for your question. Let's go all the way back again. Maybe there's another teacher who can help us there. Yes. Let's see. There's a lot of questions. That's wonderful. All right. Let's see. We're waiting patiently just to hear a question. Let's see. Anyone up there? So many hands. I wish I could answer all of them. Thank you for being so patient. Yes? Anyone? All right, I see some of you there. It's very shady, but your hand is so high up. Yes, you just did like this with your arms. Yes. Do I have any siblings? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I am very lucky to share my life with them. One of them lives in New York and one in Philadelphia, and I'm always very lucky when I get to see them. All right, let's come back to the middle here. Yes. All right, friends, I'm going to have to ask if we can make a little bit of silence just so that we can hear. Yes. How old is my dog right now? My dog Rosie is about 9 years old. And your question? Oh, are all my books about Juana and Lucas? No, they are not. Thankfully, I've had many different things to share, and I'm excited to write about different things. And sometimes I just draw the pictures while other people write the stories. Let's end with a super exciting question. Oh, so many. Can I give you a signature? Well, since you ask, I think something better than a signature is to be able to share a book full of my drawings. Yeah, so you each get to have your own copy so that you can continue to read and continue to find inspiration anywhere you go. Thank you so much for sharing this morning with me.